Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I want to share with you guys an explosive leg day routine with me at the gym. For those of you that are new here, my name is Queen V, that's V-I-I. Press the red subscribe button and become a honeybee today for free. Give mama a big fat like, and without further ado, let's get right into the video. So first, I want to share with you guys the gains. I'm super happy with the gains that I've been receiving since I switched out my routine. I've officially split my days between the front of my legs and the back of my legs. The first day of the week I do the back of my legs, and then the last day of the week I do the front of my legs. My hip dips are finally filled in. Even after surgery, they were just not fully, I don't know, like my lower body was just not where I wanted it to be. As an apple shape and somebody that never had a butt her entire life, I've been able to grow my booty a few inches naturally and a few inches surgically. I've always measured it, and this is the biggest it's ever been. This is the most filled my hip dips have ever been, and I'm really happy with my lower body because I can see more of an hourglass figure. Even the way that my underwear fits just fits completely different. It rises up on my upper back because of how big my booty is. This week I did leg day on a Tuesday and then on a Friday. The reason I did that is because it takes about 72 hours for your legs to heal, just because it's such a big area of your body. So if I'm doing 2 leg days in 1 week where I'm doing 20 sets each leg day, I want to give myself those couple of days in between to be sure that I'm healed and fully recovered to bring it home next leg day. So in this gym routine, we're going to do 5 different exercises, 4 sets each for an equivalent of 20 sets. I always like to wear my waist trimmer belt to be sure that my lower back is supported. I got this one on Amazon. This one's by Shaper X. I will link them down below, and if my discount code is still valid with them from a sponsorship that we did a long time ago, then I will also add that too. This is my favorite waist trimmer of all time. It cinches you in the waistline, so you do have like a nice little shape when you're walking around and just existing. Now the only thing that I didn't record was my 10-minute warm-up on the stationary bike. I used to do the treadmill for 10 minutes, but now I switched to the stationary bike for 10 minutes because that's a lot better on your joints. Whenever you're running on the treadmill, whenever you're doing HIIT training, whenever you are banging your joints by jumping or running, you're putting 2.5 times your weight on your joints. That's just science. And as often as I work out and I do cardio and leg days, I work out 6 days a week, my body just doesn't have enough time to recover the joints properly. So I was hammering them and hammering them and hammering them, and they weren't recovering properly. They were hurting on a regular basis, just like picking up my daughter or helping clean up the toys. I was really feeling it in my joints. So I decided to switch to a stationary bike to give my joints a break so I can do the cardio and I can do all of the leg exercises and recover properly. So I warm up 10 minutes on the stationary bike at a level 8 resistance, and that's about 2.5 miles. And after my warm up, I do a 3-minute stretch. It's best to stretch with warm muscles, not stretch before you warm up, because stretching cold muscles is unnecessary and uncomfortable actually. First workout that I like to start off with is the seated leg press. In the seated leg press, each set is a little bit different because I like to place my feet outward, regular, and inward so I can work out the inner, the center, and the outer part of my thighs. This time I did the regular and inward because it gives me more of a heart shape on my thighs. And the way that you know that you have enough weight on there is that the last 3 reps are very difficult, but you're able to finish them at the same time. You have to look into yourself and you have to see where is it too much, where is it too little. As long as the last 3 reps of that set are difficult, you know that you're doing good on your weight. The first couple workouts that I do are compound workouts where I recruit multiple muscles at the same time. Then I'll do accessory exercises later. The second exercise that I like to do is a glute single leg extension. This is a new machine for me because back in Florida, the Planet Fitness that I went to didn't have it. So I'm really liking this one. I really feel it in the back of my thighs. I did find that with this machine, using the balls of my feet, it doesn't give me a good range of motion. So I use the front of my feet, not the toes, but just under. Just pushing with the front of my foot is going to give me a deeper range of motion. So you have to be sure that you play with your anatomy and your body type and get that deep range of motion, especially if you're my height. I'm like 5'7". I know that I have to use the front of my foot in order to get a nice deep range of motion and really feel it in my hamstrings. I did 4 sets of these, and I like to do 6 to 8 reps for each set because I like to grow my legs. For all leg exercises in this video, I'm doing 6 to 8 reps each set because I want to grow my muscles. Next, I'm moving on to a single leg hip thrust with a 30-pound kettlebell. You can also use a dumbbell, but I do find that using a kettlebell is easier to hold on to. Be sure that your upper back is resting against the bench, and it's kind of like your mid upper back, not your neck or your shoulders, but your mid upper back. That's where you want to be. I like to put the weight on both of my legs and then extend my legs up to carry the weight with me as I shimmy on back, and then separate the weight and lift one leg up, leaving the other leg on the ground. I like to start lifting with my left leg because it is my weakest. So if my left leg can get to 8, 9 or 10 reps, then that's what I do with my right leg. I know that my right leg might do an extra rep or 2 because it's stronger, so that's why I start off with my left to be sure I keep them both even. With this hip thrust, you want to be sure that you lightly tap your bum on the ground, and I don't even tap it per se. I just be sure that my clothes are touching the ground where I can feel it, but I don't like to put pressure on the ground because then I give myself a break, and I don't want to give myself a break. I want to be working as hard as possible. You will find that if you don't put your weight at the bottom when you tap the ground, then you'll get more bang for your buck, and that way grow your glutes and your hamstrings faster. With this 30-pound kettlebell, I like to do 8 to 9 reps on each side. Even though I'm sharing the weight that I'm doing, it took me multiple years to get here. So 1, don't expect to be doing 30 pounds right away. And number 2, when you're doing a hip thrust with a bar on the Smith machine, it is different because in my hip thrust on the Smith machine, I'm doing like 120 pounds. But when I'm holding a free weight, a kettlebell, or a dumbbell, it is more difficult, so I can't be doing 120 pounds on a single leg hip thrust versus doing it on the Smith machine. So be careful with that and be mindful with that. I like to alternate this exercise with the side leg extension. I'm using a 25-pound plate. This exercise really helps me grow my side booty and fill in my hip dips even more. I like to do it on the bench versus on the ground because it gives me a deeper range of motion. When I'm on the ground, my foot can only get as far as the ground lets me, but with the bench I can come up and then come down further and then have that deeper range of motion, so then I feel it a lot more on my glutes and on my thighs. With this exercise, however, I just remembered I do 12 to 13 reps each. I'll do a total of 4 sets and then move on to hip adductor. Now with this exercise, I do see a lot of people not opening their legs far enough. They kind of just no, you need to open your legs up as far as you can, and once you're there, you need to try and give yourself a little bit of a push without hurting yourself, of course, and you'll find that you'll feel it a lot more. Also, I stopped extending my bum off of the seat because I wasn't feeling it as much. Like, I was putting all the weight possible and I wasn't feeling it as much as I felt like I should have. So I sat down on the seat, scooted back, and then held on to the sides and did the motion, and I felt it so much more, so much that I had to actually reduce the weight. So I was really happy with that because now I have room to grow, but I wanted to leave that little tip out there. It might be better to sit on the seat and scoot back, as that will work out a larger portion of your muscles than if you are lifting your bum off of the seat. With this one, I also like to do 8 to 9 reps. Sometimes in the last set I have to reduce it like 5 pounds or so, but that's normal. Don't expect to do the same amount of reps in each set, especially towards the end of your workout where your body is getting tired. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this workout routine. Let me know if you guys want to see more workout videos like this, and if you have any requests, of course. Don't forget, if you guys want to see more videos of fashion, fitness, and beauty, to press that red subscribe button and become a Honeybee today for free. Give mama a big fat like, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Yeah.